Nanti dia boleh ada.
Okay, doktor. Dah boleh start sebab dah ada repeat. Assalamualaikum and selamat petang to all audience and our speaker, Dr. Faizal. Before we start our talk, let's begin with the introduction of Surah Al-Fatihah. Okay, doktor. Dah boleh start sebab dah Okay, Dr. Faizal.
Okay,
Okay, to all audience, attendance will be given 30 minutes after the session start. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Faizal to start our talk today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Faizal Kamaruddin. I'm the head of cluster for professional development and ethics, National Institute of Public Administration Intan in Bukit Kiara. First of all, I would like to thank Sultan Ahmad Shah Medical Center at IUM Kuantan for inviting me to this knowledge sharing session. And I have been given the topic trust and accountability of public officers. Originally, they gave me the topic of trust and accountability of medical officers, but I think there are other officers and staff at the hospital who come from different schemes. So I believe that trust and accountability of public officers would be more appropriate for this session. And I would also like to share actually the implementation of ethics and integrity in the public service, where trust and accountability are part and parcel of ethics and integrity in the public service. This session is going to be for only 1 hour, but since we are in a new norm where I will be talking alone without any interactions with the audience, so please bear with me, and you are free to ask any questions through the chat box if you need me to clarify anything. But I look forward to your participation, because I don't think I can speak for 1 hour without stop just on my slides. Okay, I need some interruptions as well. Okay, so I would also like to say that it's a privilege for me to be with you today, because I am also an alumni of URA many years ago, and this is actually my second time to be invited by IIUM or UIA to share some experience and information. The first time was this morning. Okay, so in the afternoon, this is the second time. The first time was this morning because we have a session with the IIUM main campus this morning. All right, on the topic of excellent work culture. Okay, let me start with the first slide on ethics and integrity. I would like to quote Abraham Lincoln. I think I know that everybody knows who is Abraham Lincoln, and he said that nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Which is, I believe this is 100% fact, because we can see around us. I have the experience. I think all of you have the experience also. Looking at people when when they are no one, they are nobody. They are okay, but when they have power and authority, they suddenly become a different person. Okay, and I don't know what happened to them, because some of them I know very closely. But this is what Abraham Lincoln has said hundreds of years ago, that if you want to test a man, then give him power. Okay, because power can blind people, and some people say that the sweetness of power is only when if you abuse it. If you do not abuse the power, then there's no sweetness in it. Okay, so I think maybe there are some truth in that, because that's why some people who has power do a lot of bad things, for the interest, for their own interest. And I would like also to share a quote by the former Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Ahmad Saji Abdul Hamid. He was the Chief Secretary in 1990 until 1996. He is one of the most prominent public officers that I know, because during his tenure, he has done a lot to improve the public service. Okay, and he said that on values and ethics in the public service, he said that, in my opinion, the essence of good values and ethics in the public service depends on how public officers inculcate good habits and best practices in every aspect of their life and organizations. So it goes back to good habits and best practices. When we want to talk about good values and ethics, I think not only in the public service, but also in life. So that's why I think what we should do is we should, give attention on inculcating good habits, and particularly good habits on our children when they are still small. I think that will be more effective, rather than waiting for them to be, they when they have reach a certain age of understanding. We always think that when they are mature, maybe in their youth, 17 years, 18 years, we thought that would be the best time for us to inculcate or to share with them the good values and best practices and all that. But I think we should do when they have okay. Of understanding. So this is a quotation by Aristotle. He said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So what we do every day, regularly, it becomes a habit. It's not an act. And that happens to me sometimes when when we drive to work. I'm talking about myself. When I drive to work, sometimes it's a routine of the route that I'm taking is the same route every morning, and when I come back home, it's the same route also. So sometimes when maybe during the weekends we want to go somewhere else, unrealizingly we turn into the route that that we normally take to go to work, you know. So that shows that, you know, when it becomes a habit, you know, it becomes we become absent-minded, you know. It's not linked between what we do and what we are thinking anymore. Okay, so that's why we have to make sure that we only inculcate good habits, because if we have good habits, then it's okay if we do not link it with our mind, because, you know, in the end it's still a good thing. But if we are prone to do, you know, negative things through negative habits, then that would be dangerous and quite harmful. So talking about inculcating good habits, good values, and also best practices in the public service, I would like to give a snapshot of ethics and integrity that have been going on in the public service. There are many actually, but I chose few just to show you on what we have been doing in the public service, you know. Since 1970, for example, we have Rukun Negara, okay, which are very important, especially to unite the people in our country. And then in 1979, we have a Panduan Perkhidmatan Cemerlang. Okay, it's something to do with excellent service. And also during this time, that was the first time the ethics in the public service was introduced. And then in 1982, this is the time during the fourth Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Mahathir Mohamad at that time. So he introduced Bersih Cekak Amanah and also Kepimpinan Melalui Teladan. Okay, this is the period where he was just he just took over as the fourth Prime Minister. In 1991, this is the time when I told you about Tan Sri Ahmad Sarji. This is the period where he was the Chief Secretary, where the government introduced Perkeliling Kemajuan Perkhidmatan Awam (PKPA) in 1991, and there are a lot of good things that were introduced in this Perkeliling. There are Perkeliling number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are so many Perkeliling in that year that were introduced, and most of them are related to good values, ethics, and integrity in the public service. For example, the circular number 1 was about layanan urusan melalui telefon, or you know, how you treat customers on the phone. All right, and then the second one was about how to conduct a good meeting, and then the fourth one was quality in the public service, right? And then circular number 6 on productivity, circular number 7 on kumpulan meningkat mutu kerja KMK, which is I think still going on until now, but maybe they changed the name, right? To inovasi, right? Inovasi. And then Panduan Manual Prosedur Kerja and File Meja was also introduced during 1991. So there are so many things that were introduced under Perkeliling Kemajuan Perkhidmatan Awam that were first introduced in 1991. So we can see that the government was very aggressive during this time to inculcate good things and good habits, good values among the public officers, among the civil servants. All right. And then in 1993, the government introduced Peraturan Pegawai Awam. This is for discipline. And then in 2004, the government introduced Plan Integrity Nasional. It's everything about integrity, and then being replaced by NACP, or National Anti-Corruption Plan, in 2019 until 2023. So these are only examples of the documents, the practices that have been introduced by the government to the public service with the intention of instilling good values and best practices for public officers. Okay, So if I present to you this, the impression would be that then the public officers would be highly ethical, high integrity, you know, practicing only the best practices and all that. But is it true? So let us check what are the outcomes so far. Can you predict based on this, based on what you have seen and what you have read and what you have experienced? Okay, so it's very hard to look at any indicator on whether we have achieved, I mean the public service, the public servants have achieved a certain standard on ethics. You know, there is no, I don't know, Dr. Sabri, maybe you can correct me. I don't think we have any index on ethics, I mean, for the public service. But we have an index on corruption perception, CPI, corruption perception index. And also we have a competitiveness index where in the screen right now I'm showing you the index on global competitiveness. So this is just one hypothesis on my side to see whether what we have achieved with the inculcation of good practices for since 1970, inculcation of good values and all that. So where are we now? Are we doing good, or we are still, you know, like 30 years ago? We are not, you know, anywhere near excellent service. But if you can see our global competitiveness ranking, in 2017 we were ranked 26, okay, and in 2018 we were ranked 25, and in 2019 we were ranked 27. So there are countries that are on the screen, the countries in the Asia Pacific, and we can see where they are compared to us. Singapore is above us, Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, all of them are above us. But China is still one rank below us, Thailand, Indonesia. But I think sooner they will be they will, you know, they will outperform us if we do not do anything in terms of our competitiveness. And this is the index for, there are few indicators. Overall, this is for 2019. We were ranked overall 27 out of 141 countries. So you can see that, okay, so this, you are from medical center, right, hospital. So health, we are ranked 66 out of 141, which in my opinion, we are not doing quite well, you know, 66, when our overall is 27, okay? And we have a few group ranking where, for example, in terms of institutions, we are at 25th, product market, we are 20th, financial system, we are 15th, right? So these are just examples to show to you, because I have shown to you earlier that we have been inculcating good values, good practices in the public service, and we would like to see what are the results, okay? So this is just one indicator on how we are doing, or how did we perform, right? Another indicator which I think is reasonable, would be appropriate to be considered, is our corruption perception index. Okay, corruption perception index was surveyed among 180 countries, and as you can see, our score was 51 and our rank was 57. This is the latest rank. So we are not doing well, actually. In fact, we have sort of we were down few rankings from last year. Okay, and down in my slides, at the bottom of my slides, there are the criteria that are being considered in terms of coming out with the index. Okay, they look at bribery, okay, the numbers of bribery cases and all that, diversion of public funds, abuse of power by officials without facing consequences, meaning that, you know, how many officers, public officers who were known to abuse their powers and no actions were taken against them. Okay, ability of government to contain corruption and enforce effective integrity mechanisms in the public sector, red tape and bureaucracy, which may increase opportunities for corruption. And there are many other indicators as well. All right. So these are the indicators, and these are the criteria that form the score. So I think in general, looking at our score, I think we need to improve a lot on enforcement, because I think we have everything in place already in terms of legal framework, but I think our issue would be more on the enforcement. So 47.5% of corruption cases involve public servants. Okay, this is not good. This is the latest report, I think the 31st of January. Okay, almost 50% of cases that ended in court under corruption involve public officers. Okay, so this is really not good, because that means we have a lot of work to do to improve in terms of integrity among the public officers, the public servants. When we have seen that the work on inculcating good values and integrity have been going on for more than 50 years. Okay. Penjawat awam paling kuat rasuah. Okay, this is what one of the senior officers of SPRM said in the newspaper. Okay, one of the latest cases that shocked us all. I'm not only shocked, but I was really sad, you know, because I think this is quite what to say, where this is quite I don't have words to describe it, but you know, we have been eating, you know, or taking meats, imported meats that we believe, you know, are halal certified, because we have JAKIM, and JAKIM has set up a good system to monitor about the halal certification, and also we have our veterinary services that are reliable. So far, we don't have any issues, and suddenly we were informed, or we got to know about this, and it really, you know, saddened me, because it has to do with our belief, you know, our faith, that, you know, we try our best to eat, you know, or to take food that are halal, because after all, we are in our own country. I have experience in Australia, where I did my PhD, that I don't know, maybe some of you who have the same experience, we spend a lot of time in the shopping complex reading the ingredients. Okay, to make sure that, you know, there are nothing non-halal in the ingredients, so that we can buy and we can, you know, let our family eat, you know. And we thought that we are safe in our own country, where, you know, we have all the departments taking care of it, and we trust that they are doing their best, and when this happens, I think this is totally unacceptable. Okay. So we have recently introduced a new document on ethics in the public service, which are actually is the principles are almost the same. It's just that, you know, we have to, from time to time, we have to come up with something updated, you know, because there are the circumstances are changing. So we are going to publish the new ethics in the public. I mean, not the new ethics, the new publication on ethics in the public service this year. Inta is going to publish it. Now it is at the printing. So the objectives of ethics in the public service for this time is we identified four main areas or main objectives. The first one is to strengthen the integrity of public officers. Second, to improve the efficiency of the public service. Third one is to practice clean, efficient, and trustworthy bersih cekap amanah, where I have shown to you earlier. It has been introduced since 1982. Bersih cekap amanah. Okay, and you know, because it's a good thing, we want to continue doing it. We do not want people to forget about it. That's why we still putting it in our documents on ethics. And finally, to serve the people, because that is our main purpose of public service. Even the name is the public service. The public service means we give service to the public, and we have to remember also that we are also part of the public. We are also client or customers to the public service in certain areas, and we also have a right to demand good services, excellent services from the public service, you know, different departments and agencies, you know, because we are also part of their clients. Okay. The three principles that are embedded in the ethics in the public service that we are going to publish soon. The first one is nationalism. Recently, I mean, two or 3 days ago, Prime Minister has launched a new plan on unity, and you can see, if you read the document, you can see that nationalism has been mentioned as one of the strategy. We want to increase the nationalism of our people in the country, the patriotism and all that, and we want to do it from the young generation. Okay, and then good governance. The third principle is noble values. Okay. Okay, this is the subtopics for nationalism. The first one is to embrace all the people, especially the public servants, need to embrace the Rukun Negara, okay, to apply it, understand and apply it. Okay, and then second one, loyalty to the king, country, and the government of the day. Okay, the third one, spirit of patriotism. The fourth one, neutrality, which is the cornerstone of public service. We have to be neutral. Okay, and neutrality is part and parcel of nationalism. Okay, so that is a very strong statement. Neutrality and impartiality is part of nationalism. That means we as a public servants, when we give services to people of Malaysia and also to other people, we need to be neutral and impartial, and that reflects our nationalism in our mind. So if you look at it seriously, this is a very strong indicator, neutrality and impartiality that is linked to nationalism. That means if you are not neutral in giving services to the people, that means you you don't have nationalism in yourself. You don't love the country, okay? Because you have a different agenda, okay? So that is quite important for us to understand. And then second one, good governance. We have integrity, accountability, transparency, rule of law, work culture, professionalism, confidentiality. So the reason I put red on accountability and professionalism, because I think it has to do with the topic today, that is trust and accountability. Okay, so to sum up, it means that the topic today relates to good governance, which reflects our day-to-day work, the way we deliver our services. Okay, it comes under good governance, and accountability and professionalism are part and parcel of good governance, right? And also the third one, noble values. Okay, we have courage, wisdom, resilient, and just. Okay, and there are, for under wisdom, punctuality is very important. Okay, considerate, tolerant, respect. Under courage, speaking the truth, do the right thing, spirited, forgiven. Okay, so these are the principles that are embedded in the ethics in the public service that we would like to inculcate in every public service. So hopefully everybody would embrace it and practice it. And if everyone can embrace and practice it, I'm sure it will reflect on the services of the public service in terms of integrity and excellence. Since I'm giving this sharing to officers in the hospital, staff, and all that, so I would like to just look at the ethics for medical practitioners, just to compare, to compare with ethics in the public service, as we have. I have previously delivered the same topic, ethics for medical officers, to one hospital, and I think that when I do some research on ethics for medical practitioners, I can see that there are a lot of similarities and resemblance with the ethics for the public officers. After all, the medical practitioners who are working with the government, okay, the medical practitioners who are medical officers under the government of Malaysia, they come also under the jurisdiction of the public service, ethics of the public service, and also the disciplinary and all that. And over and above, they are also subjected to the professional conduct of medical practitioners. Okay, so in fact, I can say that it is more burdens, the burden are more to medical practitioners, because they have to observe two sets of ethics, which are almost similar, but governed by different authority. Okay, so I would like to quote Dr. G.A. Srinivasan, the President, Malaysian Medical Association, back in 1976. It was a long time ago. Dr. Srinivasan, I don't know if we have doctors here in this session. I'm not sure whether you know him or not. He already passed away, I think maybe in 2010, but he was considered a giant in the medical fraternity because he was also known as the father of urology. Okay, so if you read his biography, I read some of it, and I was really impressed, and I really have a high respect to this to Dr. Srinivasan. That's why I quote him a lot. So you can see in my slides, I have few more quotations given by him. which are highly relevant to ethics for medical practitioners, and also relevant to everybody, especially in the public service. He said that the maintenance of the highest standard of ethics in the practice of medicine has been the object of all concerned medical practitioners from time immemorial. That means, when I showed to you earlier about the inculcation of good ethics, good practices in the public service, and I've shown to you that, starting in 1970, we have another. But for medical practitioners, according to Dr. Srinivasan, it started since time immemorial, which is I totally agree, because we know that medical practitioners have to practice a very high of ethics, and not only medical practitioners, those in medical professions, nurses, and everyone else, they need to practice a very high ethics, because it involves other people's health and life. Okay. So just want to share, because I found it very interesting that ethics for medical practitioners go so deep into some of the conduct and professional conduct, and one is, for example, about medical certificates. So it is considered an abuse of professional privileges if the doctor issue a medical certificate or medical certificate without proper examination of patients. Okay, it is considered a professional misconduct. Abuse of trust, good medical practice depends upon maintenance of trust between practitioners. So if they abuse that trust, they are considered abusing professional, or they are considered, it is considered a professional misconduct. Undue influence, where yes, doctors have a very special kind of relationship with the patients. So sometimes if they have undue influence on the patient, so if they misuse it, then, or they abuse it, then it would be bad, not only to the reputation, but also to the relationship. For example, a practitioner must not exert improper influence upon patient to lend him money or to obtain gifts. Once they have a special kind of relationship, then it can go to that extent. I think there are cases that have happened. That's why they have this under the abuse of professional privileges. Okay, and under conduct directory to the reputation of medical professional, they have a personal behavior, where the public reputation of the medical profession requires that every member should observe proper standards of personal behavior, not only in professional activities, but at all times. That means if they were caught doing something criminal, for example, or something bad outside of their profession, it has nothing to do with the profession, they are still liable, or they are still considered breaching this personal behavior conduct, because it is considered as tarnishing the reputation of medical professionals. So that's why I say that medical professionals, they are a little bit disadvantaged, because they have to observe a lot of ethics, not only for public service, but also not only for in the public service, but also for their professional ethics. Okay. And then dishonesty, improper financial transaction, prescribing certain products in return for improper inducement. This include also, nowadays we have people involving in business, MLM, selling health products and all that. So if a medical practitioner was found, using his influence or his authority to prescribe things that belongs to, or to promote, not medicine, but something that related to health, and they were found to receive some payment by the operator or by the business owner, then they are considered as breaching the conduct of a medical professional. I'm not sure actually. I do not want to go deep into this because I'm not sure whether the health ministry has any guidelines on regulating doctors and medical practitioners in this type of business, or this type of area that because we can see that there are now a lot of health product and all that. So I'm not going to detail because I do not know whether the ministry has any guidelines or not on this. And then plagiarism, because the doctors publish a lot, especially on cases that they are attending. Okay, so plagiarism is considered something that an act derogatory to the reputation of medical practitioner. So I just want to share with you the statistics on honesty and ethics in medical professions, and this is in US. In United States, I didn't find any statistic for Malaysia, but I'm sure maybe they have. But I just look at it and I thought that I would like to share with you. This poll was conducted by Gallup. Gallup is very famous for having all sort of polls. If you free, you can go to the internet. Yeah, you can find a lot of polls on almost a lot of things, and this is on honesty and ethical. And according to Gallup poll, okay, when they compare three professions, pharmacists, medical doctors, and nurses. So the nurses come up top. They are the most trusted profession, okay, compared to medical practitioners and pharmacists. But this is in US, so don't be too happy, nurses. This is in US. I don't know whether we have any research in Malaysia, okay. And this is more broad, where you can see that this indicates among more professions, and nurses have been top of the chart for the recent year, 2020, and I read that they have been number one since 18 years ago. Okay. So in US, that means in US, there are about 4 million nurses in US, registered nurses. So in US, nurses are very popular, and highly trusted. Okay. So it's a very a noble profession in the US. Nurses, engineers, you can see also come up top. Medical doctors, pharmacists, dentists, right? I cannot find lawyers. Okay, yeah, they have lawyers also, but not at the top. Okay, all right. And classes people, members of Congress, senators. Oh, okay, cannot comment this because this is in US. Okay, the importance of trust and accountability in organizations. Okay, trust and accountability, they develop good culture. Okay, accountability develops culture of excellence. It empowers everyone on the team to achieve success together, right? Accountability also builds trust, okay? Because accountability breeds trust where everyone knows the same rules will be applied equally and transparently, which is very hard to do, okay? Very hard to do. In reality, okay? Set expectations. When we have accountability, then we have to set expectations. Everybody knows what are the expectations. And then trust and accountability also defines reality, ensures ownership, because everyone, they have to own up what they do, the task given to them. They are accountable. Okay, when everybody takes accountable and takes accountability, then as a group, they will perform better. Okay, and also it empowers the team. Okay, accountability empowers the team because it establishes a great level of trust at the workplace. It also helps to empower team members and give them a sense of leadership when we give them accountability. Indirectly, we are giving them the trust to lead, in a very, even though they are not the leader, but when we give them tasks and we give them accountability and they know that they have to deliver, so indirectly they are a leader for that task. They have to lead in completing the task. So that is good, because it empowers the team when everybody act like a leader, not in the negative sense, but in the sense that a leader in making things work or in making things happen. There's a poll or survey done by CEO Benchmarking in 2019, and the result shows that, this is the admission by CEOs, all the CEOs, that their biggest weakness is holding people accountable, which I think is there a lot of truth in that, because we can see that, it's not easy, when we have people working with us, our colleagues, and we know that they are accountable for certain things. We know about it, but when it comes to taking actions against them, normally we would take a back step, and we would think that maybe he will not do it again, or he will not repeat it. Hopefully he knows this is a mistake, it was not intentional. We look for excuses, in not making people accountable, because we know them. Okay, they are in our organization and all that. So leaders, CEOs say that this is the biggest weakness for leaders. I totally agree, because it's not easy. We have all the disciplinary rules and regulations and all that, but you can see how many people were really, being taken, action being taken on them, right? I don't have much time left. So these are the issues with trust. Okay, one is interpersonal competency. All right, refers to communication and relationship building skills, listening, understanding, providing complete and honest information, and showing you care. Increasing technical competency is important, all right, but it alone will not restore trust. In the future, healthcare professionals must have both the technical and people skills necessary to be effective. Okay, so what Dr. Alice K. Jacobs said in her article, is that, technical competency is important. You need to have it, at the highest level, but it alone is not sufficient. Okay, you need also to have people skills. Okay, and when you have people skills, then you have a combination of technical and people skills, then you will be more effective. This is according to Dr. Alice Jacobs, and I think maybe not only for medical practitioners or healthcare professionals, but I think for everyone, we need to really improve on our people skills. Talking to our colleagues, how to talk to our team, how to talk to our bosses, how to talk to people that needs our services, our clients, our customers. Normally, because the problem with the public service is that we thought that we are not in the business, so we don't need to take care of our customers. It doesn't matter if they run away or not. Unlike the business, we would take care of our customer because they give us money. But in the public service, there's an impression or perception that we don't care. If you are not happy with us, then you go to somewhere else. I still got my salary on the 24th or 25th of the month. So there's a lacking in that. So we need to address that. Point to ponder before I end. I have 3 points to ponder. And again, I quote Dr. Srinivasan. He said that, one, even if medical ethics is taught in medical schools, the best way to inculcate the right modes of practice is by example set by the senior members of the profession. So again, I would say that this is not only for medical profession, but also for all professions, that the seniors in that profession, needs to show the best example, need to show the way, need to be the role model, because if they feel that, how can they expect their younger colleagues, their junior colleagues to follow, or to exhibit good good ethics, good conduct, best practice. Secondly, no ethical code can lay down rules and modes of conduct for each and every situation. What can be set out are rules of guidance, and the rest has to be left to the conscience of the doctor. Again, I would like to say that this is also not only applicable for doctors, but also for everyone. We have ethics for the public service, and it's the same also. We have guidance, we have guidelines, we have rules and regulations and all that. But in the end of the day, it is up to the public officer himself or herself to observe it and to practice it and to apply it, and to to make him or herself accountable if he or she breaches it. All right. And finally, one should not hesitate to consult his colleagues if he is in any doubt about how to deal with a particular problem. This attitude enhances the status of a consultant and does not reduce it, as people like to think. It is surprising how another viewpoint can be helpful and constructive. This is also, I like this quote very much, because I think this is our problem. We are too ego, to consult other people. We always think that we are the best. We know better, and we do not want other people to interfere. And we always the one who should have the final say and all that. And this attitude actually that contributes to silo working mentality. And for medical professions also, Dr. Srinivasan, this article was written in 1980. That means about 40 years ago, he already mentioned about the importance of, for you to be open and to be ready to accept other people's opinion, and to consult those for the only reason that you want to make sure that what you do will be the best decision, combining different opinions from other people. I think I have also come to the end of the presentation. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm so sorry I didn't have the time to look at the chat box. I don't know whether you have questions or not. But I think I hope that you benefit from this sharing, 1 hour sharing. And if you have any comments, or if you find that maybe some of the facts that I have presented might not be accurate and all that, please inform me so that I can make corrections. I already shared my slide with the organizers. You can get from them. Okay. And finally, I wish all of you the best, and thank you for your participation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Dr. Faizal. Any question from audience? Tak ada. Kau tengah type soalan? Okay, thank you Dr. Faizal for your time. All participants can complete the feedback form for CTD awarded. So, tak ada apa dah kot. Okay, Dr. Faizal, thanks. Assalamualaikum.
Oh,
Dah.
Thank you Dr. Faizal.
Kau nak tukang putih tu.